And I'm going to say good morning, everybody. Welcome to our July team meeting. Happy to have everybody in my room. Happy to have everybody online. Happy to welcome Chris and Heather. And we're just going to let a couple more people in and get started right away. And we'll continue to admit people as we go. Here we go. Okie dokie. So let's go ahead and get sharing. Admit. No hug for you, Lewis. No hug for you.
It's too hard.
You squeeze too hard. Now we know. We know the truth of what's happening. You guys are lucky you're not in this room. There's some scary stuff happening over here. Okay. So we're going to get started.
Thank you for considering Sotheby's International Realty. Many choose to partner with us because of our reputation, our exceptional curation of their properties, and the way we outperform the market in exposure and sales. It starts with our award-winning website that attracts over 30 million global visitors each year and is available in 16 languages. This visually immersive experience was designed to give your home the remarkable first impression that it deserves. And that's only the beginning of the exposure we provide your property. We advertise your home with premier global media brands to introduce your home to their affluent audiences. But we don't just wait for someone to search for your home. We proactively introduce it to financially qualified buyers in your target market alongside editorial content. In addition, we allow buyers to take a tour through your home at their leisure on Apple TV. Your home also has the chance to be featured on the most visited luxury real estate channel on YouTube and with the potential to reach over 1.2 million of our social media followers. Our award-winning PR team fosters strong relationships with leading media outlets and is accessible to your sales associate to help generate even greater exposure for your home. And we utilize the proprietary Sotheby's Auction House database to reach the most difficult to access buyers. When you choose Sotheby's International Realty, you know that your property will be seen at its finest by the most qualified buyers around the world. Your home deserves nothing less.
Well, I couldn't agree more. Your home deserves nothing less. And are you guys still online? Because I feel like this just froze. What the heck? There we go. I'm going to stop the share for a second and admit all these people who are late to the party. There we go. Okay. I think I get everybody in. All right. So here we go. So here we are again with our stats. And I just recently was at a new orientation with Christy Levesque, and I thought she pulled out some interesting things from these stats. Again, we have to know what is going on with Sotheby's and Premier Sotheby's, but Sotheby's, again, is our master brand, guys. This is our heritage. And when you arrive at a listing presentation and even work with the buyer, you got to know this stuff because this is why we're different. So if you don't have this slide in your listing presentation, you need to put it in. Would you guys agree with that? So I'm going to say, how much volume did Sotheby's do? Wait, I covered it for a second, Lewis. I'll take it off for a second. I just hit it because it's a question. How much volume for a gold star did Sotheby's do last year? Anybody? Oh, you can see it up there. Oh, okay. It was Walter cheated. It's 157 billion. Well, they can't see that line because I hit it here. Okay, that was like, okay, I can't do that. All right. But anyway.
You said that.
Yeah. All right. 84 different countries and territories, guys. Where can you see where the 84 different countries and territories are looking at your listing? Haha, it's not on there. Where can you see that? List track, Lauren for a gold star. Lauren for a gold star. Yes, guys. So why is that important to a seller? Because we are the only people who actually know who's looking at their listing. When I can tell, it's like if having a rental. If you ask me who's looking at your rental, I have no clue. We are blind. Every other realtor out there is blind. They have no idea who's looking at their listing. No clue. We know exactly where they are coming from, what zip codes, what Sotheby's offices. You know what an advantage that is, especially in a market like we're in, which is a balanced market right now, where we actually have to, I don't know, market and find people? That is a huge advantage when you're going on a listing and you said, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, do you think it would be advantage to actually know where the people are interested and where they're coming from? Not only what countries, what territories, what zip codes locally, what actual Sotheby's offices throughout the entire world. You think that would be an advantage to know that? So we could actually not just know that information, but actually reach out to those people and work with them to help find the right buyer. Do you think that would be an advantage? Because only Sotheby's can do that. Now, I don't know about you. Maybe you just want to, put a low price and sell it quickly, because you could do that with anybody here local. Or we could create a pricing strategy and actually try to find the right buyer for your home. Which would you prefer? And I don't know why we have a weird echo, but anyway, so that's just really an important fact. So again, each one of these things, you need to come up with the why it matters, not just the fact. Don't feature dump. We all know granite countertops are pretty, but what does it matter, right? They're saying solid surface. You could put something on it that's hot, and unlike Corian, that will melt. It's like they all have a purpose. So we don't want to feature dump. Yeah, we're in 84 different countries and territories. Who cares? What does that mean to the customer? What does that mean to the buyer? Why should they care we're in 84 different countries and territories? Anybody have a reason why that would care? Why a buyer should care about that? Because, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, the fact that we have 84 different countries and territories, we actually can get listings from people coming from all over the world. So our curated listings, oftentimes in our quiet exclusives, are from people all over the world. So you have access to the most curated inventory before it even hits the market. Right? Okay. It's all about why should they care? Does it sound good? And with that, why should they care? Take it away, Miss Chris and Mr. Chris and Miss Heather. Let's talk about some lending. Do you guys need to share? Let's stop the share so you guys can talk. And I'm going to put the view onto speaker view.
Well, thank you, Carrie. Yeah, so thanks for having us on. Good to see everybody. Yeah, so we've been, what should we talk about? Buy down? Yeah, so we've been talking about, what's getting interest on listings, and what can we do to kind of help move, some properties, whether they've been sitting around for a little while, or even if you want to do it at the beginning. And we've been hearing a lot of buzz around buy downs. So
one thing that's important to add is that the rate buy down doesn't have to be offered on properties that are just sitting. It can be offered from the get-go. And you can even include it in your listing presentation if you would like, that's a service that we can offer you. It's something additional for the seller, another value add. And we're happy to run those numbers at any time, just to break it down, like what the savings will be, just a general overview for the buyer, because rates are really volatile right now. Again, we have a lot of data coming out this week on inflation, and it wasn't in our favor for a rate cut. So it's looking like the September rate cut may get taken off the table. So we may be operating in this environment for a little bit longer than anticipated. But that's okay, because we can still offer buyers a great rate with the buy down. So there's ways around it. We just have to get creative.
yes.
And just to go over one more time, guys, the 1-year buy down is free on you guys. And if they want to do a 2-year buy down or different things, that's on the seller, correct?
Correct. And yeah, we'll do so the 1 year for those of you who are not familiar, we'll do a 1 year 1% buy down, as long as they finance with us. And when we get to talking with the client, we can do that, or we can give them kind of the cash equivalent if it makes sense, to do something a little bit differently. The seller can kick in for if we want to do a deeper, even more impactful buy down, one that lasts for two years, or even a 3-year buy down. So Really just depends on the scenario, but we're happy to strategize with you guys on that.
And think about it, guys, that's so great. When you go into a listing presentation, that is another differentiating factor of what you're offering that someone else is not. I think that's great, Chris. And we have the disclosure language. So if anybody needs it, you've sent that over to us. So we thank you, Chris, for that. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
And we're working on designing a flyer that you guys can use to present to your sellers for your listing appointments or wherever you find the need for this flyer, just advertising the rate buy down. And we can also offer it to your buyers as well. So not just the listings, but buyers too. So.
Can you also talk about one thing I've talked about with a couple of our advisors, which I know we used to talk about, and I know you guys have the program, that renovation loan. We have a couple of our listings that are a little on the old side. And I know that the sellers wouldn't want to do anything, but I know it'd be great to offer it with your renovation loan. Could you just hit on that briefly?
Sure. So a renovation loan essentially allows you to finance the purchase price with the improvements, in one loan. So let's just say, and I don't know which, price point on the listings that you're speaking to, Carrie, but essentially, let's say we have an outdated property that's listed for $1 million. Maybe it needs 200,000 in renovations. We'd essentially take, the $1 million purchase price plus the renovation costs. We'll add a cushion, but that's where they would base the down payment off of. So, essentially 1.2 million, the buyer can come in with down payment and finance the renovation costs on that. So,
and this was a very popular product in our area because of the hurricanes. So it's great for flooded properties. If you have a property that would normally qualify for conventional financing, this is a good fit for that. And jumbo renovation products are not common. So that is one thing that we offer.
this is true.
To 2 million.
Up to 2 million we do on renovation loans.
That is awesome. Up to 2 million. And so how would it work? Would we go ahead and get people there, like with the idea of what would be renovated, the roof or the flooring or whatever, and advertise it that way? Or how would that look?
So I would say the biggest thing on renovation loans is we need to have all of the work needs to be detailed, essentially in a bid. Okay. And we submit that when we get the house appraised, we give that to the appraiser. We build it out in what's called a scope of work. So the appraiser can see the current condition plus all the work that's going to be done. And they're going to project what the house is going to be worth, once the work is done. So if there's something that you can prepare, if you guys have, contracting connections, where you can get that done ahead of time and just maybe sketch out, hey, here's what, a kitchen would look like, that would be kind of, neutral for people's tastes, or, or that kind of thing, bathrooms, whatever you want to do. Just if you have that ready to go, that would definitely put you at an advantage. So that we've seen that can be time consuming to gather those bids, but the loan itself really doesn't take, once you have that, it works just like a normal loan. We submit it and you close in, I would probably allow just a little bit longer than normal, maybe 30 to 40 days for closing, but then you close and then all the work starts from there.
And you guys are the ones who actually facilitate the entire loan, the entire process. So you are doing the payment to the vendors and you're handling that entire process, correct?
Correct. We have a dedicated renovation department that handles those disbursements, those draws, until the work's complete.
So guys, another fabulous program. If you have someone who has some work that needs to be done, but they don't necessarily want to do it, you can also advertise it that way. Listen, let the buyers pick everything they want. They can even get the bids and go ahead and have the work done as soon as they move in. And it's already built into the loan. Can we get a flyer on that one too, guys?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Any questions for Chris and Heather, guys? No? Well, we thank you guys for joining. Always wonderful. Also, do you guys have any updates on the rates or what's going on in the financing world?
Sure. So we're we're
I know.
digesting this morning's news
Yeah.
based on that too. So
Rates ended up getting a little bit worse yesterday. Let me see where we're at right now.
we'll see if we have.
We're hovering around 6.9%, I want to say, for conventional for 30-year. We're getting some more inflation data today, so we'll see how the market reacts to that. Tomorrow we should kind of have the market should stabilize and we'll see where everything shakes out. But so far, the market hasn't liked the data that we've gotten and all of the conflicts surrounding Jerome Powell and his position. The market is not liking that as well. It's just causing investors to not want to take a risk on long-term debt, which is what we need them to do to buy the bonds, and it helps out our mortgage rates.
So stay, I would say we're kind of hovering still in the current range for the time being. You know, just looks like, yeah, looking at the market as of even right now. I mean, I would expect this to still be 30-year, probably keep under 7, but it'll probably increase a little bit from where we were at last or even earlier this week. So
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, guys. Appreciate you. And if anybody has questions or any concerns or just any, how do I do this or what's the rates for that? You can always reach Chris and Heather because I know they always pick up my call. So, and I call them a lot. So thank you both. We appreciate you and we're thrilled to be working with you.
likewise, likewise.
Okay, guys, I have one question for Jill. Jill Raines, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I had you call MLS for, I think it was Janet Allen and Janice Edwards Diaz in regards to the disclosure. Was it okay to put it in public remarks that way?
They have not responded yet.
Okay, so you guys know in regards to the rate buy down, I wanted to make sure that we can say the seller's lender. So when we say that the seller is offering a one year buy down free for the buyer if you utilize the seller's lender, we want to make sure that we're able to say that in public remarks. Of course, in realtor remarks, we have the right disclosure language, but we have to be careful what we put in public remarks. No percentages can go in public remarks, but we can say the seller is offering a dollar amount to buyers' closing costs or prepaids. But when we use a rate buy down, if the seller's offering money, it's not a problem. If we're requiring the buyer to do something, which would be using a seller's lender, that's where we have to make sure that Stellar does not have an issue putting that in public remarks. So we're waiting for Stellar to get back with us. So please hold tight and we'll let you know to make sure that they do not have a problem with us saying that in public remarks, okay? Because that's a great thing to add to public remarks, but we are just clarifying that Stellar does not have a problem with the public remarks of saying that they have to use the seller's lender. But we have to disclose that, right? Because it's not any lender, it's these guys. But we have to make sure that it can go in public remarks. Certainly we can put it in realtor remarks, but obviously we get a lot more bang for our buck if we can put it in public remarks, because if we do, then it goes to Zillow, Redfin, and everybody else, right? And that's where we really would like it to go. So that's what we're finding out. Did you guys know in your market if they're putting it in public remarks yet, or?
Yes, and we actually our attorney vetted the language that can go in public remarks. So I don't know if I sent that to you, Carrie.
We have it, but I'm on the
okay.
board I'm on the advisory council with Stellar, and even though an attorney vets the language, a lot of times Stellar kicks it back. So I'm very cautious what we give to Stellar because I know Stellar sometimes changes their mind on things. I could just tell you that. So I'm on the board of directors for like Aura, that's Orlando Regional, and Florida Realtors, and Stellar. I'm on the board for a little too many things, but I just have seen Stellar flip-flop on a couple of these things before. And then unfortunately, when they flip-flop, what they do is they just give us the violation to make us pay fines. Yeah, and I don't want a fine. A public remark would be a big fine. So I just don't want that. So that's why I'm going to clarify that first. And if our office, just so everybody knows, I'm very transparent. If our office puts something in, we pay the fine. If you guys put it in, you pay the fine. I'm okay with that. But if I put it in, I'm paying the fine. I'm going to verify it. So yeah, so I'm just verifying it. So that's why. So you don't know if the brokers there have put it in because it is Stellar, but We don't know if
No,
they've
we
done
would
it.
double check on that though.
Yeah, it's okay. Trust me. I will all talk about it at our management meeting, I'm sure, next week, and I'm sure you guys will be there too
Yeah,
in
we'll get to see
Sarasota.
you.
Yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
great. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm going to verify that. So once I do, I will tell
Okay.
you too when we get the okay from Stellar. Even though, like I said, attorneys also verified several other things we were doing with Stellar, and then Stellar changed their mind, which really made Budge not very happy. So yeah, but I'm getting that verified. So just I'll let you guys know. So hang tight. Okay. Well, thank you all
Good.
again. Appreciate you. And we're going to move on to the next wonderful, exciting thing, which is going to be something really great. And what is it? Oh, it was actually this also, which is about you guys too, but play from current slide, which is, this was, if you remember, we did the social media post for the free buy down, which this is from our social bay. And did anybody actually post it and get anything from it? Or did everybody just sort of say they were going to post it and nobody actually did post it? Did you get anything? Not yet. That's okay. Did you boost it?
No.
No. See, this is the kind of thing, guys, you want to boost. And where do you want to boost it? I would be boosting it to the north. This is where I'd be boosting it. I'd be boosting it to people buying, and we're going to talk more about that as we continue in our presentation. But see, notice I said, enjoy 1 year interest buy down for free when you work with me and Select Lending. So, and then in the comments below, we put the disclosure. We're not going to put it on here because far too many words and Facebook will not actually let us use this. Remember, they have limits as to how many words you can put
Fair
on a
housing.
post. Oh, yeah.
Unless you're boosting it through Social Bay.
Yeah, well, this is Social Bay. Yeah. So again, we got this based on a $700,000 price with 20% down. We could use any numbers we want. This was the interest rate of July 9th. And if that was that interest rate today, if you did a 1 year buy down, this was what it could be. This is what the payment would be just for principal and interest with 6.78. And this is what it could be if it was 5.78. So they see they could save almost $365 a month. That's pretty nice, right? But you could play this with $500,000 loan. You could play this with whatever kind of price size loan you wanted to. So, but this is a fun little thing that we can do. Heather was great. She gave me the numbers and she used ChatGPT. And you can see right here, this is the numbers that she did use. This is what she sent me. And she actually asked Chat what it would look like. And this is what they gave her, which was pretty cool. So, we can use our Premier Chat and they will come up with what it would be with the purchase price, with the loan amount, with the interest rate, with a 1 year buy down, and with the monthly payment. Again, it's only principal and interest. We do have to say that because obviously, and we do have in the disclosure, of course, it's based on their credit. Of course, it's based on not everybody qualifies. Of course, there's a lot of ding, 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 extra, extra, extra disclosure language, right? But we know that for the buyers, guys, this is huge because builders are offering buy downs. Builders are giving them everywhere. And why wouldn't we want to compete with that? Because you don't have to buy new. Now you could buy our listing or any other home and get a buy down too, right? And the difference with this is it comes with you. It's like, portability. Does everybody know what portability is? If you don't, I'm sad and it will make me cry, but I'll explain it to you. Homestead, right, is where you get to have the tax discount because you're in the state of Florida and hopefully soon to be no taxes for your homestead. But portability means if you sell your home, that tax discount will go with you, right? Well, this is the same concept. You get a rate buy down, but it's not only on the property, you get to take your rate buy down with you. You just got to use our lender, right? It's so great. It's like a portability on your interest rate. Get to take it with you. So that's what makes this really great. You work with us, you work with the best, you get to take your rate buy down wherever you go. So this is what's really cool. And you could use it on FHA, VA, conventional, and jumbo. So there's no loan type that I see that we typically work with that's left in the cold. So that's a really great thing. So I just want you to see that this is an awesome opportunity and you should be screaming it from the hilltops. Because why would buyers want to work with someone else and not you? Maybe because they're offering to give them, a real discount on their the fee. Well, great. they're going to get you a little deal right now on their service fee. I'm going to help you for the next year on your monthly payments. Right? Wouldn't you be bringing that up when you're doing your buyer broker agreement? I would. That's huge. So these are things you've got to start building into your presentation and help you get the buyers. Okay, also the seller, these are some of the languages. Seller will buy down your mortgage interest rate. Seller will pay $10,000 towards buying down the buyer's interest rate to substantially lower the monthly payment. These are right from Chris. Qualified buyers may receive a 1-year buy down for the first year when financing the home with Chris. Let's see, these are the things that we'd be putting in. Now, offer is subject to credit approval, program eligibility, rate buy down. That is the stuff we're putting in comments. So I have the actual comment language, but you're not going to be putting that in the post. Way too much stuff, right?
Good. Okay.
Anything else you guys want to add, Chris or Heather? Does that all look good? I mean, it was from you.
So one item on there, the first two, our attorney suggested we move the will to may. So I think we just haven't updated on that.
Sounds like an
The third
attorney.
yeah. The third one is great as is. That's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, just will changes to, he suggested change the will to may. So
Well, the
With the
seller
social
can
media-
pay the 10,000, right?
Yeah.
It just,
Yeah,
we don't know.
absolutely.
Yeah, the seller can agree to pay it. It just, we don't know how much it will help you.
Right.
Because that depends on your credibility.
Right.
You just might have bad interest problems. But
And just to be clear, like, yes, we have to put the language in, but this is real. This is not like some
Right.
unicorn scenario that you have to
Right.
fit exactly perfectly to qualify. Like, if you're qualifying for a loan, like, you're getting this, for the
And
most
if the
part.
seller
So,
has agreed to buy down your rate like a 2-1, then you can say the seller will buy your down, right? So it's just if it's the free one, you can't say that because that has to be tied to you. And that's where I'm saying we have to be careful what we put in
Right.
MLS because that is not the seller paying. That is them agreeing to use you. It's just like you could not, and just so you guys know, I'm just going to throw this out there because I'm sure you all know this. When you offer an incentive like a bonus, and you can put it in MLS, remember MLS is not code of ethics. Remember, MLS does not have code of ethics in it. You cannot offer a bonus that is tied to something, meaning you cannot say you only get the bonus if it's a full price offer. That is a code of ethics violation. We all know that, I'm sure. I know everybody already knows that. So I'm speaking to the choir. Nobody in this, my whole team would ever do that because that's a code of ethics violation. So it never would happen, right? So you can't do that because you can't say you get this if. So if you put out a bonus, it doesn't matter if it's a full price offer, if it's half a price offer, if it's an accepted offer, they get the bonus, period, end of story. And if they take you to procuring costs, they get it. So if it's later, that's coming out of your money. That's why you never put that in there about the bonus. MLS will not stop you because MLS is not a code of ethics enforcement vehicle. That's why it allows you to put that in there like that. So you're like, but in MLS, let me put it in there. Of course it does. MLS is not code enforcement for code of ethics. Hi, Miss Peyton. So that's why you have to understand that. So this is the same thing. MLS is not code enforcement, but MLS is very careful about what happens, anything to do with a lawsuit. And so it's very careful about commissions and money, and it's very careful about what you put in public remarks. Realtor remarks, they don't really watch, right? That's why you can say, and it's not a violation, make me throw up, that you can only accept an offer if you waive the withholding on a FERPTA deal. How slim shady, guys. But that is allowable. Yeah, I know. And you can put it in the MLS. I will not allow you to do that deal, but that is allowable and in the MLS. Okay, so these are things you got to understand. MLS is not the same as those. Okay, so just keep that in mind. But in public remarks, that is like very, very public. And so they have to make sure everything is not a violation. It's all by the book. Everybody good on that? Okay, excellent.
I have a question.
Yeah.
For the first year buy down,
Yes.
what are Select Lending offering to buy? Is it a 1/4% for 1 point or?
No,
what-
they're buying a whole point. So if it was 6.5, I'm wishful thinking right now, then it would be 5.5. It's a 7%, it would be 6%, but for 1 year.
1%.
A whole 1%.
A whole 1%. I'm correct, Chris, right? Heather, yeah? I'm correct.
Good.
I feel so good. I'm vindicated. No, just kidding. I paid attention in class.
And if for some reason the buy down doesn't work for that buyer, for whatever reason, if it ends up being a condo and they can't get conventional financing, we'll honor that and use the credit. We can give them a lender credit, or we could permanently buy the rate down, which won't be as dramatic, but they'll still get that discount. So,
Which is amazing. So
Good, yes.
thank you. That is awesome. Only if they work with us and with Chris and Heather. Yes,
Correct.
which is important. Excellent. Because why would we give them free money for nothing? Because we're not doing that. Okay. Excellent. All right. So moving on. So thank you very much. And this is where Claire takes over.
Add me to the meeting.
Are-
I need it
are
Hey,
myself.
Carrie, quick question. Felix
Yeah.
here.
Hi, Felix.
That's already available on Social Bay, you said, right?
I
The
said
rate
what?
buy down piece?
Yeah. Well, what do you mean it's already available? I do not have the authority because marketing is very careful with what they give me the authority of. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have the authority to put anything in your social media. I created that in my Social Bay, and you can create it too. That is a template in
Oh,
Social
got it.
Bay that I use for market update that I modified.
Okay, got
But
it.
how
Okay, I
I
thought they
did
had
that,
pushed that template to all of us.
no,
That's
that is
available. Okay.
wishful thinking. No, how I
Yeah.
did that, you're so funny. No, how I did that was I also have a YouTube video on the day I created
Yes.
that. So you can watch my
Okay,
YouTube
perfect. Yeah, that was
and do it
earlier
too.
this week, right?
No, that was last week, last Monday.
Last week. Okay, perfect.
Come on, you
Thank
gotta
you.
stay up with it. Come on, stay up with it, Felix. Yeah. That's fine.
I'm there. I just didn't know if it was this one or the
I
last one.
know. That was last Monday, last Monday.
Thanks.
Okay.
Bye.
Miss, bye-bye, Miss. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me give you the ability.
No, you don't have to. I'll just talk.
Okay, you're just gonna talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have some exciting things to share for this month in marketing. You can go ahead and move to the next one. If you guys missed the email, we have released Sotheby's, the brand, has released the mid-year luxury outlook. It's this beautiful, beautiful book. If you haven't taken a moment to flip through it,
Oh,
I
okay.
highly recommend doing so. And our company has put together some social media graphics, an active pipe template, and more, which you can
Is that
find
stopping
in
it?
Kathy's digital haul that she sends out every Friday, as well as Propel Smart Space, and then
Doing it.
corresponding like Active Pipe and Social Bay.
Okay, well, it's not stopping, so I didn't get to stop anyway. Okay, go ahead.
That's okay. The next thing to share is we've released the advisor campaign. I don't know if you guys have noticed, we talked about this a little bit in the orientation. A lot of people, like different brokerages, have been trying to adopt our advisor term, which I always say, it's the highest form of flattery. And so we've released this campaign for you guys to share, to kind of dive into what it means to be an advisor, and how we elevate that term in our brand. And this was a regional newspaper print ad takeover. So if you guys get the Orlando Sentinel, you'll notice instead of our typical ads, this one on the right over here, that was an ad to try to promote this campaign. And we have shared social media assets, active pipe templates, and my Marketing Matters postcards.
And I'm going to talk about this for a second. You know, like we talked about on Monday, those of you who are in my training, one of the things I shared is when you're in an appointment, especially a listing appointment, but even with buyers, what you bring to the table is what? Market knowledge, not data, not information, because they have that everywhere. It's the knowledge. For example, like we said, how do you know what is the luxury in an area? Like what does the luxury start at in Windermere? Does anybody know? Where is Brady? Brady Richardson, I saw that you're on. What does luxury start at in Windermere? I can't believe he's not on. He was so excited. He learned how to do this. He must be muted. Luxury in Windermere starts at 2.77 million. How do I know that? What does luxury start at in Lake Nona? 1.4 million. What does luxury start at in Winter Park? 1.7 million. What does luxury start at in Dr. Phillips? 1.6 million. How do I know these numbers?
16, I think so.
You take all of the sales, I like to go trailing 12, and you count the top 10%. So if you had 500 sales, I'm just picking a number, 10% would be 50. You start from the top, the highest, and go down. I go down to number 50. Whatever 50 is, that's where luxury starts. That's the luxury line. So if you go on a listing, you say, well, in this area, luxury starts in Windermere at 2.77 million. That's the luxury line in Windermere. Everything below that's truly not luxury. And that's not ultra high net worth, by the way. Ultra net high worth typically is between 5 and 10 million. But now you have to look at the percentage of listings that are above 5 to 10 million. See, this is information that, by the way, when you come to my luxury certification on the 28th and 30th, you're going to learn more about. Because you cannot be a luxury expert and not know this kind of information. And just because you've been and you didn't doesn't mean that's not okay. We're going to learn it now. But this is the kind of data that will set you apart. So when someone tries to pretend they're an advisor and they actually don't know knowledge and deep information about the market, right? Are they truly an advisor? How can you advise someone? How can you create a pricing strategy when you don't even know what luxury is, right? But you do. And that's what sets you apart. This is the great stuff that I want you to know. So these are the kinds of things that you're going to post about. Did you know that luxury in Windermere is the highest out of all of Central Florida? By 1 million. Because second to Winter Park, that starts at 1.7. Sorry, Winter Park. I'm sure they're sad about that. Doesn't mean they don't have some big sales, right? But overall, Windermere is the highest for luxury.
Well, and Winter Park is just so broad because you have those high end, close to downtown areas, the villas,
And then
you have the outskirts. So
right. And it's also super hyper local because we could then break apart Lake Nona between 32827 and 32832, right? Same thing with Dr. Phillips. So this is what's super interesting. And that's the kind of stuff you guys got to know. And that's the difference between being an agent and being an advisor. Take it away, Claire.
one thing I really love about this campaign is it's catering towards like the shift in our market. So if you'll see down below in the social graphics, it's talking about how like markets shift, but relationships or trusts endures. So I think this is a really great asset to utilize. And again, I always want to encourage you guys to utilize all the social media graphics because you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Our team creates these beautiful pieces that you guys can share immediately through Social Bay. You can just schedule. So keep an eye out for those. Okay. This next slide I'm really excited to talk about. We've worked really hard, the marketing team, to put together a piece of social media playbook. So this is going to be a book that has guidelines, best practices, and talking about collaborating with the premier social media channels on Instagram and Facebook. And just a really good step-by-step. Some of these things you might already know, and it'll be a good refresher. But this is just going to give you guys a better feel for the brand, our brand engagement, as well as brand standards when it comes to social media.
Oh,
that
yeah.
should be coming out.
We have brand standards for social media? No, sorry.
This should be coming out in the next week.
Oh, just kidding. Okay. Is that Walter?
Playing some music here. Another great thing that I'm thrilled that we've just released is this Propel CRM enhancement of going into listing exposure and being able to add multiple listing exposures for the same property instead of every time having to go in, add something, go back and start over and add something. So I'm thrilled that we've finally released this to make it a little bit easier for you guys. I know especially in Carrie's offices, she does all these trainings about adding things to your Pulse seller reports. especially like pulling from list sync,
Sync.
all of those syndicated websites. So this is gonna make adding those things way simpler.
Yay, so excited.
And that's already been released, so we don't have to wait for that. And this is gonna be just like a reiteration, is check out those shareable social media assets. We have a bunch of things that have been shared. Specifically, you'll see the highlighted below. Keep an eye out for the digital haul every Friday. It comes from Kathy Forrester. She's our chief marketing officer, and she makes sure she includes these assets, includes tips and tricks. If you're not seeing this in your main inbox, make sure to check your other or your junk folders. And if you're still not seeing them, please reach out to me and we'll get that corrected.
Okay. Now, before I move on to relocation and referrals, and thank you very much, Claire.
Thank you guys.
Janice, let me stop share for a second. Uh-huh.
Slide 12. Where's that located?
The Propel CRM enhancements.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be under your listings tab. So for the full seller report, if you, it's like you're still going in and adding that listing exposure. So under listings, go to listing exposure and then it's all right there.
So Jill did get word back from Stellar MLS, and we can say, Jill, can you say what the language said that we put into the public remarks?
Qualified buyers may receive a 1-year interest rate buy down for the first year, paid for by the seller's preferred lender.
Okay, she said qualified buyers can receive a 1-year, we'll send it out to everybody, can receive a 1-year rate buy down paid for by the seller when using like their preferred lender or something like that. We can send it to you. We're not allowed to put lender information in the public remarks. We have to put that in the realtor only remarks. But we can now put percentage information about a loan program into the public remarks, but only in regards to a loan program. Nothing about a percentage of dollars amount, like for commission that we're giving, because again, it could seem like we're saying what commission we're paying the agent. Anything, Jill, you want to add to that?
No, she said that had to be very specific. If you put up any type of percentage or rate.
I'll send it out to everybody. I don't know why you're having so much reverb. It's very hard to hear you. But thank you very much. Maybe text me. Okay, perfect.
Hey, Carrie, quick question.
Mhm.
Felix here again. That video that you showed in the beginning of the presentation today, where is that from?
You can get that off of Design Vault.
Design Vault. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So I wanted you guys to all see this. Alex came and gave this to me, and I could give it to each one of you. This is a lead source spreadsheet that each one of you can sign up for yourself. This is not anything you would get from relocation. This is something that you would get directly from the lead source. And it tells you what the referral would be, or if there was a fee, which I wouldn't use those, but that you would pay. For example, HomeLight, you could sign up for, and if you closed a referral, you would pay 25%. Fast Expert, if you sign up, if they give you something and you closed it, you would pay 25% only if you closed it. So you're not paying for any of the leads.
No
I can't,
No upfront cost?
no upfront cost. I can't sign up. She can't sign up. It is only agent direct. RE Home Connect, this one, no upfront cost. I will send it to everybody. Yeah, don't worry. This one is a 35% fee if you close it. OHO, I don't know what OHO is. You have to, there is a minimum. You would have had to do 25 transactions in the last 12 months. So that's all of you guys. You have to be minimum year licensed of 3 years, all of you guys. Again, no upfront costs. This is what they're looking for. And you would be 35% if you close the deal. So these are all the things. Now, I would never do expert home offers because it's pay per lead. So I wouldn't do it, because if you pay for the lead and they don't close, why would you do that one? So Home Captain she has here, but she doesn't know what the referral fee is. So maybe check into it if you like it. Estately is 30%. America's Save is 35%. And don't do bold leads because they charge you. And who cares? Why would you want to pay for a lead source if you don't close anything? But I think this was great. She did all this research for me to say, because she says there are lead sources that sometimes people do close business on, but she can't have anything to do with it and the brokers can't. So I thought, well, great, send it on over. So Alex did collect this for me and I will send it out to each of you. Pretty cool, right?
So is that saying that they're, so you can sign up, so are they sending out like a sign up form, or we have to go directly to?
You would have to go directly to HomeLight, for example, and sign up as a HomeLight agent. Now, if there's a requirement that the broker signs it, send it to me and I will sign the referral agreement. It's probably a referral agreement because this is a referral too, but I would sign the referral agreement as the broker, but you are the person who's signing up as one of their advisors, kind of a thing, an agent of HomeLight or whatever. So just in case anybody's like, I want more business, and maybe it's good, maybe it's garbageola, but the point is it's free, so who cares? And if you wanted to see if any of them were good, you check it out. The point is you're not paying, so who cares? Free is for me. That's what I said. So I said, send it on, my friend. All right, now let's talk about delayed distribution. So delayed distribution has now been officially set for the day of September 16th. That is the day it officially begins. And this is the timeline they've already set out the rules. They've already had live trainings. They're supposedly doing all broker office visits. I don't really care about it. Again, I've been part of the whole thing, and it will again go live on the 16th. Now, there are parts of this I care about, and we're going to talk about that. So this is the policy. The idea was this was about clear cooperation, and it really was being challenged by Compass, who doesn't want to do clear cooperation because they want to pretend they have all these private listings that they can sell to buyers, really, to say, oh, we have this whole network. Well, Zillow is not having it, and Zillow is like, fine, you do that. Your listing will never get put into Zillow. So there's a battle going on, and we don't really care about any of it because we believe the sellers have the right to have their home advertised. Now, if their home is not ready to be advertised, that's why we have private placement, right? Zillow doesn't care about private placement. They don't really care. But what they do care about is if you're going publicly part of the way, you can't put 1 foot in the water. That's what Zillow cares about. They don't want 1 foot in and not being part of Zillow, right? That's what they're saying. So if you're going to do 1 foot in, which is what Compass is doing, then you're never going to be part of Zillow for that listing. So if that listing is being published on sites like Compass, all over wherever Compass is doing it, don't ever think it's going to go on Zillow because it's not. So that battle continues to rage. And we laugh. We sit here and we watch and we think it's funny. So what happened, Clear Cooperation said, okay, NAR said, we're going to continue with Clear Cooperation. We believe that it's best for a seller to be able to have the most exposure. But we also believe that they should have a little freedom to decide how they want to do it. So this is where they came up with the new rule of delayed distribution. Truly, I don't see any point in it. I'm just be honest. It's kind of like a coming soon, which a lot of other MLSs already do. We don't. Stellar does not believe in coming soon. Space Coast requires coming soon. So depending on what MLS you belong to, you may have to do coming soon. So I was teaching a class contracts over in Space Coast and they're like, Harry, but we have to do coming soon. And I'm like, what? This was really freaky for me. I'm like, what are you talking about? When they have a listing, it's required within, I think, 24 or 48 hours to go into the MLS and coming soon status. So you don't even have pictures. You have like barely any information. You have to be in MLS and coming soon status. It's very weird. And then you have a certain amount of time that you have to get everything in to go active. How bizarre is that? Now, I don't know if they're coming soon starts days on market or not. I didn't even want to get that much information because frankly, I thought it was stupid. So I just don't even want to know. We don't comply. We don't care. We don't want to have anything to do with that. Although I am part of Space Coast, we only put it in Space Coast when we're active. Please, la, 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 la. I don't want to know, but we don't participate. Okay. But we don't do that at Stellar. What Stellar is now saying is if you would like to do delayed distribution, you still have to follow Clear Cooperation rules, meaning Same thing. You have a listing agreement. You have 2 dates. You have the day on the front and the day people sign. Within 5 business days, right? Everything that in the contract is calendar, but everything in the MLS is business days. Within 5 business days of whichever happened last, you have to be in MLS, right? That's what they say is clear cooperation. If you do any public marketing, social media, a coming soon on some kind of social media post, a sign in the yard, a flyer that goes out, you violated clear cooperation, so therefore you must be in the MLS within 1 business day. That is clear cooperation. That still stands. However, you could choose to instead put it in delayed distribution, which means it goes into the MLS and it can stay in this status for 5 days. I don't know. Did anybody ever see what is that? Galaxy Quest, where they have the button and it goes back 30 seconds. What's the point of 30 seconds? What's the point of 5 days? I don't know. They're all the same thing. I have no idea what 5 days means. But for 5 days, business days, can sit in this delayed distribution status where it's private in the sense that it can now be viewed in MLS by all agents. It can now be part of any search. If you have a 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom in Windermere with a pool and someone's looking for a 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom Windermere pool, it'll go part of the search. If someone has a feed on their website that someone has to access it with a code, like with their password, it'll go there. But it doesn't get syndicated to IDX feed, i.e. Zillow and Realtor.com and all of those things. To present, Stellar believes this is not a violation of Zillow. Did I use the word believes? Okay, this is still, in my opinion, a little gray. Can Zillow change their mind? Of course, it's a public company. So anyway, this is what happens. But here's the problem, guys. Oh, you can also have a sign in the yard. But guess what's also happening? Your days on the market are ticking. And you're not really marketing it to everybody. Does anybody see a benefit?
No.
What the heck's the point of that?
Is that a choice?
It's a choice. It's new flexibility for the seller. We're not doing it. It's stupid. We're not going to do it. Okay. So that's what it is. You enter into the MLS. It can be included in emails, shown. You can make offers, but it will not be, you can put a sign in the yard, but it will not be sent on Zillow. Dumb. We're not doing it. Everybody agree? Stupid. We're not doing it. So here's what will change that I like. Office exclusive becomes a status in MLS. We now don't have to worry about filing. We still have to get the authorization to make it an office exclusive. That form still needs to be signed. But now it's not just about having a form and having to refile forms and all that stuff. Now, when you do a private placement or a quiet exclusive, we get the office exclusive signed and we enter it into MLS in a status called office exclusive. Okay? Seller temporary, we don't even want to look at that. I actually took it out of our file. I know somebody's in there, we'll probably put it back in, and I'll take it out again. Do not use temporary. Yes.
I am so sorry. Can you go back to Office exclusive, what you said? When you have Office exclusive, it will be on MLS, but it will only be exclusive for our office, meaning only people from Premier Sotheby's will see that on MLS?
Here it is. No. Thank you for asking. We're right here. Once you have an office exclusive, you still can't market it, right? You only can share it with your office. But it will be built as like a regular listing. So when you want to take it live, we just flip the switch. It's like a status, like TOM, like pending, like active. It'll be a new status called office exclusive. But your office, Southwest Orlando, Southeast Orlando, Lake Nona, Ocala, your office, just like you have a hot list, my office listings, my office pendings, your office will be able to see your office exclusives. Only your office, which is kind of stupid. because it's annoying because I have multiple offices. I would really like to see all of my offices, but your office can see your office exclusives. So it doesn't really solve any problems for us because we still have to use our private placements in our system in our, Propel to see all of them, because what good is it if I can only see Lake Nona and I can't see Dr. Phillips and I can't see Ocala? It's kind of dumb. But I was hoping for more there, I have to say. A little disappointed with that one, but it is what it is. But here's the best part. You ready? This is what's new. Now, you see this one down here? You can share it. It's starting September 16th. Don't do it anytime sooner. One-on-one with a different broker, not in our office. Don't ask me how this is not a violation of clear cooperation, because I'm totally confused by that, but I don't care because they have put it in writing and made this a real thing. So I don't remember whose it was. Actually, I've done it a couple times where they had a private placement listing. It was not ready to go active. There was another agent in another office who had the buyer. To show it, we had to take a commission agreement so we could actually show it. Do you remember? I had to do that with somebody because otherwise we would have been in violation of clear cooperation. We don't have to do that anymore because now it would allow us to show this to someone in another company. And we could sell it and get credit for both sides without it ever going live if we want to. And we could sell it to somebody in another company. I still don't understand how it doesn't violate clear cooperation, but I don't care because that's what they've decided and I'm good with it. And then when we're ready to take it live, because that's always going to be the goal, right? To go live, we just flip the switch. Instead of TOM, instead of pending, instead of active, we go boop, active. And we don't have to redo the work. It's great. It's already there. We've already been building it out. We've added the pictures. We've added everything in. So it's been working to get the whole listing active. Everybody clear? It's going to be so great. Now, it's not there yet because it's September 16th. So don't come to me and say, I have a private placement listing. I want to show it to another broker. It's September 16th. So in the interim, I'm going to say, take a commission agreement because you'll be in violation of clear cooperation. But this starts when? September 16th. I don't know, again, why. I don't really care, but I like it. I really, really like this. This is fabulous because I really, really like private placement or quite exclusive or whatever we want to call it. I like it a lot. Yes.
So that just complicate things even more. So basically, you're telling me that we can sell, let's say that my friend Jess from Compass has a buyer for my listing that has not been on, is not active right now. So do I have to get an authorization? Do I have to have some sort of paperwork since it is a different brokerage and we are, it's under office exclusive now?
Well, you always were supposed to do that because in office exclusive, you're not supposed to be showing it to an agent outside of our company. That's really a violation of clear cooperation.
Yeah,
So
but that's what I'm saying. But now from broker to broker, I can't do that. So let's just say that Jesse has somebody that he wants after September 16th. Jesse has
you don't need anything. Again, you'll need nothing because you're office exclusive. Yeah, it's beautiful. You won't need any paperwork because you're office exclusive. It's like allowable. It's bizarre. It's actually easier.
Oh my. So
I know, it's
they've
bizarre.
been preaching about us not putting on social media because only our friends will see a listing of ours.
It makes it worse, really. I mean, between you and me and the wall over here, it actually creates more private networks. If you're right, it does.
That just the purpose of not putting anything before it hits the market on social media is for everybody to have a fair chance. Now,
right. It totally took that out of the realm. Exactly. You're 100% right. Now you're going to call your besties and say, hey, Jess and Abby, come see this and bring your best customers. Of course you are. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Now you can't send a mass email, violation, but you can call them one-on-one because it says one-on-one communication. It's bizarre, but I love it. but it's awful, but it's great. Yeah. Listen, it's like the lawsuit. It was supposed to bring about transparency. Has it done that? It's done anything but that, right? It's like, they're like, oh, it's going to bring down commissions. We're making more money. So good and bad, right? I'm just going to say the whole thing, the world is turned upside down, topsy-turvy. But to me, this one is good for us. So you get what I mean, Jules?
Okay, whatever you say, Paul.
Trust me, it's going to be better for us, but it's weird. I know. I went over it 5 times. I'm like, so let me just make sure I'm understanding this. We get no days on market. We can sell it not just to ourselves, but to other people and other companies, get credit for it and not get in trouble. And they're like, yep. Okay, that's what I've said. Yeah, I'm never doing delayed distribution. That's stupid. And there's no time limit. Yep, I know. No, I don't ask questions anymore. I just say thank you. Okay, I understand. We're good. Yep, that's it. You got it. Moving on. Awesome. Yep, so that basically goes over the same stuff we just said. And here's the Zillow thing. This is why the Zillow, and this is what obviously Jackie had talked about. But I don't think we never have to worry about this, because if we're doing office exclusive, that does not violate Zillow. And as long as we don't do delayed marketing, because I sort of feel like delayed marketing is really in a gray area of whether or not it could violate. So we just stay away from that. We're good. All right. I wanted you to see this. I don't know how many of you read this from National Association of Realtors. International buyers have increased in their purchases since 2017, 33%, guys. And of the top 5 countries, this is what the top 5 destinations, Florida is number 1. We are 21%. But what is so crazy to me is, look at what's the number 1 country. Who's not allowed to buy in the state of Florida? Let's talk about weird craziness. I don't think they're just buying California. No, this is now. This is just now. This just came out in July. I know. Then comes Canada, Mexico, India, and the UK is pulling up number 5. But here's the second thing. Who's going to hate us and doesn't want to buy anymore with us? They hate us because of the tariffs. They hate us because of COVID. They hate us now. Canada. Oh, but they're number 2 buying. They hate the US, but they're buying number 2. I'm just saying, can we talk about false marketing? It's everywhere, guys. You're hearing false news everywhere. Okay, international buyers are up 33%, and Canada is number 2. So all that stuff about Canadians don't want to have anything to do with Americans, BS. Okay, BS. And I don't know about the China thing. Maybe they are buying a lot in California too, but 15%, I mean, is that only the only people who bought in California was, I don't know. I mean, but still, I mean, there's 15% China and 15% in California. That couldn't only be the Chinese, right? So they had to buy other places too. I don't know. It's just a little weird. I'm just saying, but interesting, isn't it? But you know what else is interesting? You know what's not on the list? Brazil. Brazil is not on the list. It's interesting, right? So I just thought some interesting things. Now, the other thing is, Florida is number 1 for the US economy. This just came out. Have you heard that in the news?
No.
Yeah, well, that's good. Finally, someone's saying something good. Yeah, so US, they said Florida's down 28% and all this craziness. Yeah, we're number 1 for US economy. We're ranked number 3, I mean, for business and workforce. Isn't that great? Now, we didn't get the highest for business friendliness, I'll tell you, though, because we're 23. Cost of doing business is number 22, and quality of life is 22, because our prices have gone up so significantly. That's what brought us down. What came higher was North Carolina, because their prices are so much lower than Florida now. So that's what's interesting. So here you see, for the best states of doing business, infrastructure and friendliness was North Carolina, because it's cheaper, much cheaper. So that's interesting, but still Florida ranked #1 for our economy. So that's what happens when prices drive up so much. We still do great with our economy, but our friendliness has gone down because the cost of doing business here has gotten higher. The cost of living here has gotten more. I mean, think about it. In 2019, how much could you buy a house here for? Right? It's more than doubled. So that has changed it, but we're still #1. So I thought that was interesting. And here is the beautiful An Eye on the Market. You guys need to read, if you have not taken the opportunity to read the luxury market report for the mid-year, you need to read it. It is amazing. It is exactly what you need to be hearing.
It's really beautiful.
Not only is it beautiful, the statistics about why the luxury market has been doing so well and will continue to be doing well is what you need to understand. This is our market. It's saying that the luxury high net worth individuals have taken their money, and they're saying from 200,000 and up for household income. So they're not saying 5 billion and up. They're saying 200,000 and up. Those folks have taken the money that they made in the market and they're putting it into real estate because they feel it's a better, it's safer investment. True story. So these are things that are good things to be able to have conversations with when you talk to a seller, when you talk to a buyer who's on the fence. Because people are still buying and you have a lot of high net worth individuals who are buying more, it's not going to drive prices down. Because people are going on the fence saying they're seeing, oh, Florida is down 28%. No, we're not. We're #1 for US economy. These are things they need to see to understand, get off the fence. It's not going to drop and be crazy prices. We're not going back to 2019. Those days are gone. So this is the stuff you need to be able to have this in information. Now let's look at our market here. This is Dr. Phillips. Now I will tell you, June sales, and I looked at a lot of data and I want to just go over this. What sold this year in June was 44 homes, and this is only single family, and I'm only looking at single family in both zip codes. Compared to last year, though, we're only 2 off. 2 homes off. So this is not a big difference, guys. What's active on the market? Look at this. Last month to this month, we have a lot less on the market now. So what does that mean? Our inventory is getting better. Less people are putting their homes on the market. It's not like crazy things are being sold because look, year over year, we're about trending the same. Less people are putting their homes on the market. So what does that mean? We're probably not heading into more of a buyer's market. We might be heading back into the other way because less people are going, oh, well, maybe I'm not going to go crazy selling my home, right? The average sales price this month of June was $1,026,000 compared to last year, which was 1.3. So it's down 25% for the month over month, year over year. But I'll tell you, that could be 1 home because this is Dr. Phillips. And when you're in the millions over there, you could have sold something big in, you know, a couple of communities here. So it's not like when you're dealing with average sales price of being 500, that's a more significant thing. When you're dealing with these prices, that's not a huge thing, but we need to watch it just to see what's happening. All right. But I would say there is a flattening. Now here, this is what's interesting. So, oops, let's go back. This is the single family months of supply in June. As you can see, it's flattening. You guys see that? Mm-hmm. There's a flattening in 32836 and a total flattening in 32819. Actually, how do I move this stupid thing here? Oh, here we go. Let's get this out of the way. I'm just going to put this little. All right. Let's move this. Okay. So you can see here, we're not up at 6 even. We're down in the 5s, 4 to 5. So this is Dr. Phillips. We don't look back over here in January is when we had a lot of inventory. You see how the inventory's dropped? And this is 32819. 32819 has seen a significant drop in inventory since January. Oops, let's go back. 32836 has seen a little climb, but not a lot. So we've seen more homes going on the market in 32836, but a lot less going on the market in 32819. I don't know why. I don't know if anybody has a significant reason as to why, but it's interesting. Here's Lake Nona. Lake Nona is still up, which is shocking to me because this is the one market I would think we would see flattening. We don't. So again, look at this, guys. Not a big difference in solds. And again, I'm looking at single families. And I look at both zip codes, but this is between last June and this June. Not a big difference. But again, what are we seeing? A lot less homes on the market this month than last month, which is what we're watching for. We're watching to see what's happening to our inventory. Look how much the inventory has dropped. That is significant, right? Days on market, year over year has climbed, obviously, but our average sales price, geez, I cannot understand it, continues to go up. How is that happening in Lake Nona? I don't get it. I really don't. I'm still in awe. You keep telling me that, and I keep trying to fight this traffic. I'm still understanding it, but yes, okay, still getting it. But it's true. My average sales price in this office is up. It's true. I can't believe it. Yep, it's a true story. So here is the months of supply in 32827, which has dropped since January it's gone up, but it's actually dropped here. You can see it. It was much higher in about February, March, and it's dropping. And that's 827. But here's the significant drop. And when I see 32832, I think Eagle Creek, right? Do you guys agree with me? January, they had a gluttony of inventory, and look at that. It's down to about 4 months. So the question is, have they sold it? Did they quit? Did they stop selling it? I don't know. But we went from about 6 months in January to about 4 months now. So that's significant. So I think that we're changing a little bit, you know. Is it a buyer's market in there? No. I mean, is the seller's market in there? No. It's still balanced, but I would say we got to definitely not think that it's a buyer's market. June, Windermere. This is more significant in the fact, again, I would say that because it's such a small market, but again, total sold, very similar year over year, 62 to 51. But look at again, 259 to 212, there's still a difference of inventory, not a ton. Days on market though, this is significant, doubled almost. That's a big difference. It is taking a lot longer to sell these homes in Windermere. And the price has dropped from 1.5 to 1.2. But again, this is Windermere. You could have one $13 million sale or something, throw it off. So it's really hard to tell in those types of markets. But here's the month of supply. Again, January, you had a lot of inventory, close to 6 months. And now we're almost down to 4 months. Winter Garden is up 13%, guys. So the total sold very similar year over year, but they have increased their actives significantly, almost the hundreds. Days on market have not shifted very much, which is interesting. Really, only 47 days on market in Winter Garden. That's interesting with that amount of inventory. And the average sales price is $829 in Winter Garden. Here's but see, look at this. Their inventory is not even 4 months. That's pretty impressive. So they still do not have an oversupply of inventory. Claremont is about the same number of sold last year over year. Look at that. Actives of a little bit more active, but not a lot. Days on market didn't tweak up that much, but the average sales price has dropped just slightly. Again, not enough to really talk about. It's almost flat. And their inventory is about 4.2 months. So again, balanced. It's a balanced market. Ocala. Ocala's flat, really. Their sales has been pretty flat year over year. The active inventory has increased just slightly, which I'm glad to see because I'm worried about a big influx of new builder stuff, which may not show in the MLS. But I'm waiting for that. Days on market have increased, not tremendously though, but the average sales price is pretty flat. But as you can see, there was a much larger surge of inventory about February, March, and it's dropped. So that means some of it is getting absorbed and maybe some of it's not going on the market. So this is good. This is a healthy market. What would not be healthy is if it continues to climb, right? This is a healthy market. We're seeing ebb and flow. So again, seller's market is less than 5 months. So we have many of our markets at 4 months. I wouldn't tell the sellers it's a seller's market. They all think it's a seller's market, but we are seeing actual evidence of some seller's markets because we are still seeing multiple offers. Don't tell anybody there's some seller's market activity. We don't want anybody thinking that. But the reality is, guys, I have had several homes go with multiple offers. Now, when I say multiple, it's 2. When I say multiple, it's really multiple 2.
Yeah, but they're low multiple.
Yeah, right. So I would rather let people think balanced market, right? But we are not in any of my markets in a buyer's market at all. So all of that stuff that you're hearing on the social media is not true. I mean, have everybody heard that we have so much inventory, that it's not moving, that the market is sluggish, that it's a buyer's market? Have you guys all heard that? I've heard it everywhere. It's all wrong. People do not know what's going on in your hyperlocal market. You need to be the voice of educating your people. Okay? Yeah. What's happening? It stopped. Okay. So to finish off, so Lake Nona, this last month in June did 5 million in sales. Congratulations to Ohana, Anna, Eric, Shane, Mike, Lewis, and Liani. Woo! We did 2 million in new sales. Peyton, Ohana, and Susan. Woo! And we closed 9 million. Congratulations, Anna, Ohana, Lewis, Brad, Peyton, Shane, Mike, Shane. I did Shane twice. He gets a double. Congratulations. Keith and Eric and Liani. Woo! Okay. Claremont and oops, what happened? Dr. Phillips. They did 16 million in listings. Oh, did I say listings? Oh, no, that's right. 16 million in listings. Congratulations to Don Giacchetti, Linda, Alejandro, Chad, Shandy, Emily, Jules, Maria, Carol, Daniel, Angela, Jasmine, Alex, Kelly and April, and Teresa. Woo! We had 18 million in new sales. Congratulations to Don Giacchetti, Carrie Bellish, Teresa, Shandy, Ariana, Alejandro, Emily, Maria, Carol, Linda, Grady, Brady, Jules, Chad, Daphne, and Lisa. Woo! And they closed 19 million. Congratulations to Dawn Giacchetti, Val Flaherty, Jules, Angela Jasmine, Carol Maderos, Carrie Bellish, Brady, Emily, Bobby Weldon, Cindy Cantino, Daniel, Elizabeth Chichi Portiche, Linda Foog, Chad Going, Anna Malfi, Lisa Campire, Maria McKee, Cindy Strelecki, April and Kelly, and Sue Rudman. Woohoo! And Ocala. Congratulations to our June listings of almost 14 million. Jill, Angela, Tina, Stacy, and Heather. A small but mighty team right there. And their new sales, 9.5 million. Stacy, Michelle, Luli, and Heather. And closings. They just closed almost 13 million. Stacy, Maddie, Angela, Heather, Michelle, and Heather again. All right. And congratulations to Stacy Rollins if she's on. She's closing another 7.5 million on tomorrow. So woohoo! All right. So an office update. We have 269 active listings, which is $188 million of volume listed. And our average sales price is $820,000. So congratulations. That is amazing. And happy birthday to Ariana, Barbara Cack, Cindy Zastrzelecki, John Lionel, and Max Caldwell. Woo! Here is our networking coming up, Level Up, and the T&E. And we also have the one in North Carolina, right? North Carolina, like some of you are going, North Carolina. All right. And most importantly, thank you all for being Premier. We know that you work very, very hard. I'm here for you for whatever you need. And we just welcome you to bring any thoughts, questions, and also new strategies, because we know this is a new market and we are here to make this a fun, exciting challenge because we know it can be. So have a great rest of your day, guys, and I will see you soon. Bye.
Thank you.